What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Empire YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at Miraidon EX. Miraidon EX is a very powerful deck right now, considering that you have the ability to swing for massive amounts of damage, have pure consistency as well as disruption. And as you can see, Mouse decided to join the party. So, part of my face is going to be covered, but it is what it is. He does not want to leave this spot. So, Miraidon EX, tandem unit. Once during your turn, you can search your deck for 2 basic lightning type Pokemon. This is super consistent as it allows you to really set up your whole board state and go from there. And it also means that with Miraidon, you are able to grab another Miraidon, which means that you can flood the board and continuously search. So, paired with the Miraidon, we do have Raikou V. Now, Raikou V is in here for more consistency because you can't hit fleet-footed. Once during your turn, if it's in the active spot, you may draw a card, and then Lightning Rondo does 20+20 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon and yours, so you can max out at 220 damage. And then for the big hitter of the deck, if you need to exceed that amount, you do have Raichu V. Now, Raichu V does have fast charge, so if you do end up going first, you can actually accelerate energy, and then it also has dynamic spark. Same thing as Chinpao, you can discard any number of lightning type Pokemon, and it does 60 times the amount, or sorry, lightning type energy, and it does 60 times the amount. To accelerate energy, we have Flaffy, as well as the fun cards being electric generator, and hitting energy off of this is great. We are playing 14 lightning energy just to ensure that the odds off of electric generator is great, and seeing an energy turn 1. If you do play Raichu, we have Squawkabilly just for more draw, and then the disruption aspect is Path to the Peak, as well as playing Judge and Iono. Normally, it would be weird playing Path to the Peak within Miraidon, but usually once you get your board set up, there's not much that you really have to do when you've drawn enough cards. Fleet-footed isn't as important, and due to the nature of Flaffy and not being a rule box Pokemon, you can still accelerate. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications, enjoy the gameplays, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video. Alrighty, guys. So we are playing Miraidon. We're going to see exactly what we can get going on with this game. Just checking the sound effects real quick. So my opponent is going first. Thankfully, with playing Miraidon, we do have the ability to attack turn 1, depending on what we start. And we did start Raikou, actually. So we actually have the chance to really set up and potentially take an early knockout, depending on what we're playing against. Our worst matchup would be Urshi. There is a Bidoof, so wonder if he's playing an Arc variant. They are playing the 70 HP to retreat Bidoof, so can be a little bit awkward for them to try and retreat. But from there, okay, so they're playing Chinpao most likely, which isn't the worst matchup, especially if they're running Palkia. It really just comes down to if we can kind of set up the consistency base that we want. And I think what I'm going to have to do is let's see. I'm going to have to Force Seal Stone, lay down the Squawk, attach the energy, hope I find another Raikou, and go from there, I think. So we'll see exactly what we can do. Our opponent just has Greninja, so that's actually super good for us. So this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna attach the Forest Seal Stone. I don't think I'm gonna need the Raichu. And then we can go Ultra Ball. We'll get rid of the Beach Court and the Raichu. We'll use the Miraidon. I just realized I could have put the Raichu down, but it's all good. With this, we'll grab a Miraidon and a Raikou. Let me think real quick. We'll grab Miraidon, Mareep, and then we'll grab another Mareep, and then use Squawk. We'll play down the Squawk. We'll use Squawk and Seize. We do get Generator as well as a couple other cards. So I could retreat Generator Switch Cart. And I don't really hate that. I think this is what I'm gonna do. We'll use Fleet-Footed first. So we get Judge, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's nothing too bad. So we'll retreat into the Mareep, and then we'll use the Generator. We do hit 2, which is perfect. And then that means that we can go Switch Cards into the Raikou, and then we can just play Judge. Might give our opponent a better hand, but it's definitely nothing that's too terrible. And then the Bravery Charm, put on a Miraidon. We'll use the second Generator. Power up a Miraidon here, and then I don't think I'm going to get KO'd. And if the off chance that I do, I still have access to a supporter plus another Raikou. So I think I'm safe to not use Star Alchemy right now. So we'll just hit 140. I could have grabbed Path to the Peak, but if I end up in an awkward situation where I need an ability next turn, I'd rather not have the Path in play. There's another Bidoof down. The only annoying thing is that Greninja can KO 2 Flaffy, so I definitely need to be wary of that. There's a Raikou. Switching the Miraidon up. There's Energy Search. Grabbing the energy. Did not mean to just sneeze all in there. Okay, so my opponent switches. Interesting, they choose to bring up the Palkia. I don't think that that's really the best thing considering I can take a knockout. I think what we're gonna have to do is we'll just use Star Alchemy now. And we'll grab a Switch Cart. Then we can Switch Cart into the Raikou. I'm gonna Iono just because I'm gonna get some prizes, and if my opponent plays Iono, I really don't want to deal with that right now. Then we can attach, we'll attach to the Squawk just so that way we have access to retreating. We get another Bravery Charm. And then we can just go Path to the Peak, hit for 320, take 2 prizes, and then kind of build up more momentum there. It's just crazy how how much energy you can accelerate in a turn, and our opponent concedes the game. So with that being game 1, we will get right into game 2. Alrighty, into game 2. Let's see what kind of trouble we can cause with Miraidon, considering just how insane it is to be able to just flood the board with so many energy turn 1. Our opponent most likely will go first, either way we benefit. So we get to go first, which is fine because if we start Raichu, we can actually use the attack, accelerate some energy, go from there. And we do actually start Generator as well, so we have quite a bit of things that we can do. The only issue is we do see fighting, so might be a little bit awkward for us to play against. Might be playing against Tinglu, and it seems as though we might be playing against Tinglu. So definitely gonna be a little bit awkward. So we'll use fleet-footed. We can path to the peak, which might be beneficial. We'll just have to see. We'll use the escape rope just to draw an extra card. We have the fleet-footed, another escape rope. I'm gonna play the path now just to prevent any type of accelerating next turn with Dino Cry. And then we can attach next turn, play research. We're gonna have to search a bunch of Pokemon out, man, a little bit manually, but it's definitely gonna be a little bit of a tricky one. And we do only max out at 220 damage, which means we have no way to KO this Miraidon unless we have the chance to power up our own Miraidon. So our opponent is going to take 30 damage less as well. So I think it's just going to be a slow 2-shot and go from there. If our opponent doesn't have energy to accelerate, then they can't attack, which means that Dino Cry is not too scary. So just like last game, we are going to have to get rid of both of our boss and have one left. Little bit unfortunate, but definitely nothing that we can't deal with. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I want to potentially go for a Miraidon play. With Path, though, it's really... I don't think that it's going to be super necessary. I think what I'm going to do is we'll attach the Force Seal Stone, and then we'll Ultra Ball. We'll get rid of a Lightning Energy and a Switch Cart. We'll grab a Mareep, so that way we have access to Flaffy next turn. And then... let's see. I'll save the Star Alchemy. That way next turn I can potentially go for the knockout on the Miraidon, then not have to worry too much. And with getting rid of our switch carts and escape ropes, it does suck, but with only having one retreat and Flaffy out, we can recharge the energy. So you just have to make sure that our energy placements are done right. There's the Lucario, and this Lucario, once during your turn, put 2 damage counters, search your deck for a fighting energy and attach it. So our opponent can hit for 260 damage. That's insane. So we are going to have to try and figure out a way to possibly take a KO this coming turn. There's the Roaring Resolve, gonna put 20 damage. And is our opponent just gonna pass? There's the Riolu. So we draw another energy, which is super unfortunate. I'm gonna try and dig for a knockout this turn, so I am gonna use Raikou in order to grab the Beach Court, which means that we can play the Beach Court down. I have to hope that I can find a way to retreat. I forgot that I had one retreat, even though I literally just put it into play, but it's all good. Let's see. So we have access to fleet-footed. We do get another energy. I really don't want to see energies right now. So we'll use the generator. We'll attach to the Raichu. Let's see. We could switch cart. Potentially draw an Ultra Ball. potentially not. We'll switch card anyways just to see an extra card. Use the fleet-footed ability. That sequencing was really off, and I did not mean it to be that bad. We'll use the tandem unit. I guess we just grab another Raikou. And then I don't think our opponent's gonna take a knockout next turn. I think we're gonna be safe. Let's see, 260 is what they can hit for. They have to discard all of their energy. I'll Bravery Charm the Miraidon, and then my opponent is going to have the chance to KO this Raikou. But if they do choose to KO it, then that means that we can KO the Lucario. And with only 3 cards in hand, I still feel like that's a fair trade. I think it just depends on how turns go. There's the Lucario attachment. Let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 130, 180. So we can take the knockout with Raichu, which might be a little bit more beneficial. I'm not gonna Iono. Instead, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna thin the deck a little bit. I'll grab the Miraidon. And then we can go Raichu. We'll use fleet-footed. And we do actually get Boss, which means Boss can KO the Lucario, which is actually perfect. So we'll use Boss's orders, bring up the Lucario, and then retreat into the Raikou. And then having access to Raichu means that we can KO the Miraidon with Raichu, not have to stress so much. I should have used the Flaffy's ability. That was my mistake on my part, but it's all good. So we draw another Raichu. I don't have to worry too much about attackers because our board is flooded with a good amount of them. There's the fighting energy. There's the Dino Cry. So we have to hit for 180 damage. So we have to discard 4 energy. So we use the dynamotor. Put 1 on Miraidon. We'll use fleet-footed. And we will attach here. We'll give our opponent a fighting chance. We use Iono. Hit the generator. Sadly, we whiff. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We do have access to 3 more energy, so definitely not too bad. Then we'll use the dynamic spark. And with that, we can go 1 off of Raichu, 1 off of Flaffy. We can go 1 off of Raikou, and then that's 180. We need to discard 1 more. We can discard 1 off of another Raikou, so that's 6, 12, 18, 24, 210 damage. Taking the knockout. Gonna take 2 prizes, and then they have a lone Riolu, which means that we have the ability to steal the game next turn, depending on what my opponent decides to do. Might be a slow showcase in the sense of, you know, my opponent's not really drawing too many cards, but at the same time, it does showcase the ability of Path, because Path did shut down my opponent from being able to use the Dino Cry at an important time, so. There's the professor's research. Gutsy pickaxe, grabbing a switch. Another gutsy pickaxe. There's the Lucario. So our opponent is going to be able to take the knockout with Lucario. And we're going to have to respond with our own Miraidon, but After that, I don't think it's going to be too terrible. And there's our win con with Miraidon. We do have all 3 boss gone, a couple generators gone, but not too bad. So we do get Ultra Ball. With the Ultra Ball, I'm going to get rid of the Mareep and the Squawk. We're going to grab the other Raichu just so that way we have it in play. We can start setting it up for the next turn. We'll use Dynamotor. Put an energy onto, let's see, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. We can take the knockout with Raikou and be safe. So I think that's what we'll do. And then we do have access to Judge. Potentially can hit Path off of this. And we do, which means that we're in an even better spot than before. So we'll use Fleet-Footed. We'll use the Path to the Peak. We are gonna have to pay the energy to retreat, but it's not too. That's not bad at all. And we can hit 460, leaving my opponent with not an established board, and Path to the Peak does shut off the Dino Cry. So my opponent shouldn't be able to respond to this. And next turn we should be able to build up enough in order to KO with Raichu, because we do have the 1 attachment. Another attachment, that's 6 energy. There'll be 5 in play if we retreat the Raikou, which means that we'll hit for 300 damage. There's a boss's orders. So boss does bring up the Flaffy. A little bit unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. We still have the ability to get out of it. All of our switching cards are out, but it's nothing too terrible. We can just start accelerating energy, and we do have energy in hand, so we can start building up our board. That way we can take a knockout on whatever is brought up. And as I mentioned before, we're actually going to have 6 energy in play, which means that we can take the KO with Miraidon, or with Raichu on the Miraidon, so it definitely was not looking too bad. So our opponent does have Reverum. They do get to discard an energy and draw till they have 6 cards. There's a Gutsy Pickaxe. Now my opponent can retreat, which would buy him a turn of not being KO'd, but I feel like we're far enough ahead to where it's not too stressful if we get put in an awkward spot. So our opponent passes, so what we're going to do is use Dynamotor to the Raichu, and then we can just attach, retreat, go into the Raichu, and then we can use the Dynamic Spark, only having to get rid of 5 energy, and we can hit for 300 damage. So 6 energy, 360, take our last 2 prizes, and despite having the fighting weakness, Path to the Peak plus Judge kind of slowed it down, so we didn't have to worry too much. So I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications. You know what? Let's shoot for 10 likes on today's video. Maybe 5. But again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.